Hey everybody, today's video is about staying scent-free in the woods and out of the woods. So over the years, obviously, with as much time as I spend in the woods, I am trying everything I possibly can to avoid being detected by specifically whitetails, but any animals that I'm hunting, and it's not easy. And I know the simple answer that everybody wants to say is, oh, you just have to play the wind. And yes, that's true, but there's so many other variables that are happening that sometimes just playing the wind isn't good enough. And I'm literally not just saying this for the sake of the video. I would not make this video if I did not believe it. But like, there's so many times that I have had situations where I'm like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get busted, and I don't. And so I feel like a lot of that has to do with my regimen and like kind of everything that I use on a daily basis, as well as like steps that I take to try to minimize my scent. Scent-free is like a marketing term that a lot of brands like to use to make you think, oh, I don't have any smell on me, but that's not true. We all have scent at all times. We're all breathing, we're all perspiring. It doesn't matter what we're doing to avoid being smelly. We all have smell, right? So these are just things that I do to minimize it as much as possible, and I wholeheartedly believe that it does help me. It has saved me in certain situations, and then there's other situations that I like may have messed around and thought, let me just see if this doe is gonna smell my coffee, for example, and they do. So they have really great noses, and so obviously we don't want to get detected. So I'm gonna just show you guys things that I use in my life, whether it's specifically for hunting or just in general. None of this is sponsored, so like, I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm just showing you the stuff that I use. And I also am someone that has very sensitive skin. I did an allergy panel test last year, I believe it was, and I came back to pretty much being allergic to everything and anything, specifically environmental stuff, which of course I'm a hunter, so I'm in the woods and I'm around everything that I'm allergic to. So I am very cautious with certain stuff, and I try to minimize fragrances and dyes and perfumes anyway. So again, I do use this on a daily basis pretty much, so we're just gonna get right into it, and hopefully you guys find some stuff in here that might be good for you. So the first thing that I'm gonna start with, obviously I have very long hair. It's even longer in the back, but I have always pretty much had long hair, and hair is one thing that holds scent like crazy. And that includes your armpits, any arm hair, leg hair, hair anywhere. I mean, it holds on to scent. So shaving places, legs, whatever, obviously help, but I'm not about to shave my head. So unless you want to do that, this is kind of like what I would say to kind of gear yourself towards. I am a huge lover of CeraVe, however you want to pronounce it. I say CeraVe. And they actually just recently came out with this shampoo and conditioner, and I was a little skeptical because it's actually very affordable. And so I was like, man, it's probably not very good for you. It's probably not good. And the ladies will know what I'm talking about, but I used Redken for a long time, like not during season, but like just to try to keep my hair healthy in the summertime, and I just felt like I was using it maybe too much. I don't know, the ingredients did not do me justice, and I felt like I was losing a lot of hair in the front. So I went back to essentially a cheap brand, which is this, and so far I've used it about a month now, and I love it. My hair has never been softer. Not just saying that, like, it genuinely is so much softer. I live in Iowa and we have really harsh water, so even with like a shower filter, sometimes it's not like soft like I would like it to be, and so I have definitely noticed a difference with this. And then along with that, I also use the daily moisturizing lotion. So that's like a body lotion. And then I also have the foaming facial cleanser. This stuff is my holy grail. Oh. I use this for my body wash also because it's just that good. Obviously none of this has any fragrance to it, which is like the biggest thing you want to look out for. Sometimes products will say scent free but not fragrance free, so you have to make sure there's no like literally the word fragrance in the ingredients. I try my hardest to use a lot of like safe and non-toxic and like low chemical products. I truthfully, there's a lot of stuff on this that I can't pronounce. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it has hyaluronic acid, which my body loves. Obviously that might be different for other people, but I tend to have like oily, sweaty skin, but then I get really dry, which is probably because I don't drink enough water usually, but that's a whole other thing. So I love this because it's not greasy at all. It's perfect for like any little bit of oils, which is also where a lot of your scent is like in the oils of your skin. You're producing scent, and so this is really good for that. Then I also, obviously, like I said, I use this lotion for when I get out of the shower because this stuff is a little bit drying. So if you are on the dry side, there I think is a moisturizing version of this also from them, but I tend to just put some lotion on after, and this is great because again, not greasy. I hate the grease. I'm a like sensory person. I don't like feeling like there's just something on me, and so this is great. Dries down really fast and I love it. So that's kind of like what I typically use for like a shower routine. There are obviously other brands out there that have like scent free or scent killer products. This one is Dirty Outdoors that has a fresh earth scent, and I don't love this just to like wash my hair. I really love the CeraVe better, but this is nice if you want to add like add a scent. So instead of like trying not to have any smell, replacing like your natural odors with some sort of earth or dirt scent, I have found pretty helpful. I think it also kind of depends where you're hunting and what the scents are in nature. Like if you hunt in a cedar thicket versus like row pines, the smells in the forest are going to be a little bit different. So that's something to take into consideration too. But this is like a good little kind of add-on. Like if I really want to add a little something to my hair especially, I'll do something like that. And then during like not even hunting season, but any time of the year, I will also have like this scent killer just kind of around. So all of my sinks, like in my bathroom or on my kitchen sink, I always have a scent-free soap, so that way I can wash my hands. You know, if I come home from hunting, cook something, I can wash my hands in this, and then it's not like an extra added scent, because obviously we don't want to add scents to what we're doing. So yeah, and then I also have this double repair face moisturizer from La Roche-Posay, and I love it. It's the best thing ever. Please don't sell out of this, but like if you want to go buy it, she's that girl. Love her. Again, not greasy, amazing for the face. Our face and our body have different molecular absorption rates, essentially, so I always have a different face moisturizer than I do a body lotion, so that's why the CeraVe is really good for like the body, and then this I put on my face and my neck. So I love this. Again, fragrance free, very like clean ingredients, really good for you, so I love this thing. Let's see. Okay, and then I guess also I do wear a little bit of makeup, mostly because I'm on camera. I'm not really wearing any right now. I just have some mascara on, but when I'm hunting, I like to like try to look alive because I tend to look very tired, because I am very tired. So I will put a little makeup on, and it does have a little smell. So that's about the only thing that I will kind of sacrifice a little bit, and that's because I'm so strict with everything else that I'm like, it's fine. But I have these sensitive, because I have sensitive skin, makeup remover wipes. So these are really good. Again, not very greasy, so it's nice if I just want to like not sleep in my makeup, which I tend to also do sometimes, but again, that's another story for another day. But yeah, pretty much everything. I try to just find stuff without fragrances, and I use them year round. So I guess, let's see what else. So along with like skincare, and adding scents versus trying to be scent free, one thing that I've been doing recently, and I'm still kind of product testing for lack of a better term, and that is using essential oils. So like true, clean, pure essential oils. I get mine from Plant Therapy, and so I bought some Virginia cedarwood, Scots pine, thyme, and oregano. And the thyme and oregano I got because I wanted like a natural insect repellent, and these are supposed to be really good for that. I'm still testing that out, but I also haven't applied it everywhere. But I have noticed that when I put it like just on my arms, I don't get as many mosquito bites. I haven't had a single tick on me, and I've been in the woods a lot lately. I don't know if you guys can see all the cuts on my arms and stuff from this week, but I've been doing a lot of lease work, so I've been needing some bug spray essentially. So I've been testing this, but we'll see if it holds up. Those scents are very, very strong, so I try to like, I don't know if I'm going to use them so much for deer, but I also feel like maybe they're a natural smell. I don't know. But I know for a fact where I hunt, there's a lot of cedar and a lot of pine trees. So these two I will for sure be wearing. And honestly, they might be okay for insect repellent. I'm not really sure. But basically what I do is when you use essential oils, you got to be careful because you have to dilute them or they could potentially hurt your skin. And again, I'm very sensitive to stuff. So I've been using argan oil. This is from, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Larsensial Skincare. I've had this a long time, and I use it in my hair sometimes when I oil my hair, but I mix that with these, and so far they smell great. Like, I smell like a pine tree or a cedar tree. Love that. But it's also something that I was thinking maybe I could just put in my hair too, and it's clean, which is like the biggest thing, right? So that's something I'm still messing around with, but maybe an option if you're like frustrated with products or lack of products. That's just something that I'm thinking about. Also, I have the hardest time finding a deodorant, and so I feel like those essential oils would be good to kind of help with that. I'm a very sweaty person by nature. Like, it doesn't even have to be overly hot, and I just kind of sweat. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you, but I do. And I've tried every single deodorant you could possibly think of. Clinical strength, prescription, the cheap stuff, natural deodorant, forget that stuff. That I've tried every brand there is, none of them work. So this is like literally the cheapest thing I've ever bought. The Arm & Hammer Ultra Max unscented antiperspirant deodorant. So fun fact, deodorant and antiperspirant are not the same. Deodorant deodorizes, so it'll keep you from being smelly, but you're still gonna sweat. Antiperspirant is meant to like block the sweat, okay? So that is why this, I think, is probably the only thing that I've ever had really work, because it's a true antiperspirant. Now, that being said, I don't fully know if this is like a clean, oh yeah, aluminum chlorohydrate, 19%. That's very high. So, aluminum is obviously something that's been trending lately, and people are like, oh, it's not good for you, you shouldn't put it in your body or on your body. And yes, I know that. However, give me the aluminum because I need it. So that is something that I've, again, been trying to play around with. Maybe the essential oils can help me be less smelly. I don't know. Maybe I can mix it. I've been also, I guess technically I've also mixed it in with my body lotion. So like that's what I put on my body, and then like the oils and stuff I'll put on my arms and my hair. I don't know. I've been trying everything, so TBD, but I have been kind of playing with that. But there are also things that you can use. Elimishield has this core body foam, and this is something that I will put on my armpits if I get overly sweaty. It's almost like a foaming alcohol, and what I mean by that is like it does kind of have like a alcohol like swab sort of smell to it, but I think that's to kind of counteract the body odor. So I will use this on my armpits if I'm like really sweaty, and this is nice because I can bring it with me. So I'll put it like in my backpack or something, and if I feel like I'm really sweaty, I can get it, rub it on, and that'll at least kind of tame it a little bit. So anyway, those are just kind of the things that I put on my body. I guess the last thing I would say, and this kind of is more for clothing, but I have always been a Scent Away fan. I used to buy this from Walmart when I was a kid, and I always got the Fresh Earth scent because it smelled like Pennsylvania dirt to me. Anytime I'd go in the woods, I'd be like, it's like they bottled it right up. So I have always loved that. Now obviously I don't just hunt Pennsylvania anymore, so other places don't fully smell the same, but I still think it's a great smell. So that kind of goes along with like if you're trying to cover up and just like essentially mask your human scent with something else. I love Scent Away, and I will always keep a bottle on me. I typically keep it in my car, and I'll like spray some stuff down. Like even when I get back from a hunt, if I'm like a little sweaty or something, and if I'm on the road and I'm not able to like wash clothing often, I'll spray that all day, every day. I'll make sure it's like coated in it, and then I typically will hang stuff and kind of let it dry, and I find that helps. So yes, I know I'm kind of getting on a tangent, but I really do love that stuff. I've used it for years, and it's always something that I will keep kind of in like my tool belt, essentially. This will come with me. So and you can also put it in your hair. I've done that also. But I will say one thing to note is moisture is kind of our enemy when it comes to smell. So if you're like walking around on damp grass, let's just say you're walking to your tree stand. If a deer crosses that path while it's still damp, they're actually able to smell you more. And that goes the same for like, I've heard guys with dogs that are like tracking dogs, they actually prefer a more wet environment, not so much like soaking wet, but like a dewy ground is actually better for retaining the scent, and the dog can actually find it easier. And obviously a whitetail would be very similar, like their noses are very strong. So for us, moisture is the enemy. If your breath is like just being put out there, that's moisture that you're putting in the air, and that is something that they can pick up on. Which reminds me, I am a gum chewer. I love gum. I think this really helps with your breath. Obviously, like you can brush your teeth as much as you want, you're still producing breath scent. So what I like to do is I get a mint gum, and mint is a very natural smell. I've never had a single problem with a deer like smelling the mint and freaking out, you know. So I prefer a mint gum. This one is underbrush. I actually got it on TikTok, and it's a remineralizing gum, so it's like really good for your teeth. It does not have the bad ingredients in it, which I like, but then it also has a minty, I think it's called mastic mint. It's very pine, spruce, I think is what is actually in it, spruce flavor, so it's a little strong, but again, I don't care because it's a natural scent. So I like to chew gum, and that's just kind of one thing that I've noticed. I have purposely tried drinking coffee and then like setting up where it's like, okay, they could be downwind to me, and I've had deer wind me every time, and I promise it is 100% because they could smell my coffee on my breath. So it's little things like that that you might not think would ever impact anything, but it does. So I always keep gum on me. And I know I probably sound crazy at this point, but it's not that I'm like psycho about it. I just incorporate this stuff like into my daily life. Like I'm just washing my hair. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy. But I think it helps. So, let's see, what else can we move on to? So the next thing would be not just our body, but our clothing. And again, this is something that's like controversial, like what do we use? Obviously, there's a lot of products in the hunting market that are geared towards washing your clothes and keeping them scent-free, and our technology is better than ours, and blah, blah, blah. I don't buy into it. Not because it does or doesn't work. I really don't know, but I just am someone who likes to buy things in bulk. A lot of hunting stuff you can't buy in bulk. So I have done not a lot of research, but enough research to know that stuff like this is about as good as you're going to get, and you get a lot more bang for your buck. Now, I don't like supporting big companies over like our small hunting industry, but at the end of the day, I think this is just more affordable for me. So Downy is free of everything pretty much, and I've used this for a long time. If you can just find any like free and clear detergent, just flip it around, make sure it doesn't have any fragrances in it, and you'll be good to go. And then another thing that I've recently started doing is adding a little bit of white distilled vinegar to my laundry. I never ever use fabric softener. Like, even if you're not trying to be scent free, don't use fabric softener because it adds so many greasy oils to your clothing, and it's actually deteriorating your clothing faster. But that's a side tangent. Vinegar is actually really good for essentially replacing a fabric softener. It's really good for your clothing and material. I do anywhere from like 2 tablespoons to like 1/4 of a cup, depending on the size of the load. And also the materials, like if I'm just doing t-shirts, I'll just do a little bit. But if I'm doing like really bulky, like my winter jackets and stuff, I'll do a little bit more. And then I also find that this helps kind of break down any excess residue from like any laundry detergent you may have used. I really don't have any issues with this one specifically, but there are certain ones that are like, I just feel like they cling and it doesn't fully wash it out. That being said, this is also a little side tangent. It's good to not overuse the amount of detergent. Like, you don't have to fill it full every time. If you only have like, let's say half of a load, you really only need like very, very little amount of this because it's concentrated. Meaning when you add water to it, it really mixes up and like washes your clothes, versus like something that's already diluted you might need more of, which typically any detergent nowadays is way too strong to just dump a bunch in. So that's why I like the vinegar. I think it helps break down if I accidentally put a little too much in, because sometimes obviously it's hard to know, but this is great. I also love it for cleaning around my house. Like my sink, I will add vinegar and baking soda and scrub my sinks that way. You can scrub like your shower, bathtub, whatever, typically bathroom stuff or kitchen stuff. But baking soda is also something that is a staple in my house, and I also keep little teeny jars of it around because it's really good at pulling any odors out of the air and sucking it in here. You know, let's just say you're cooking bacon in the morning and your kitchen smells like bacon. obviously that's gonna like linger through your house. So I really try to like open windows and use baking soda because I don't want everything being all smelly. Those are two things that are staples in my house. They're actually really good. Baking soda and hydrogen peroxide are really good for cleaning couches or your bed, like your mattress. I sprinkle a bunch of baking soda and then I wet it down with hydrogen peroxide, let it soak until it kind of dries up, and then I'll take a vacuum and just vacuum it. And that really will pull any odors out of your couches and any like soft cushions, blankets, materials that, you know, you can't throw in the washing machine. So that's just a little tip. And I really like to use it just as a deodorizer in general. I even have a kind of like a homemade air freshener in my car that is baking soda and some essential oils and I think I threw some cedar twigs in there and kind of just shake it up, stick it in a cup holder in my car, and it acts as like a, you know, a purifier because it's sucking in scents but also releasing whatever essential oils you put in are. So I like that too. That's something that I'm also doing new, like it's been new for me, so we'll see if I do it forever, I don't know, but my car typically does have a smell after a while because I'm hunting and I'm sweaty and I sleep in my car, and then it's like I got my sleeping bag and it's just like I really try to keep scents out, but sometimes it's hard. So then along with that, one thing I do have is a laundry bag that is kind of like a canvas material. It's probably honestly plastic, but it feels like canvas. And it is really, really good for keeping all of my dirty clothes and the smell of my dirty clothes inside. It really depends where I'm hunting and what I can do. If I'm just traveling and staying somewhere random, like sometimes I sleep in parking lots and I just like randomly am somewhere that I can't hang my clothing out and let it air out. So these are great. And then obviously, like if I'm traveling somewhere, I can typically find a laundromat. So I'll just put all my dirty clothes and then I have it in one spot anyway, and then I can just go do laundry. I'll usually have like a little travel size of my detergent in there, and then it's got a little zip pouch with quarters for the machines, and you're good to go. It's also a backpack. I think I got this on Amazon, so anyway, that's good for that. And I think the very last thing that I would recommend is rubber boots. I wear these, I literally haven't taken them out yet. I wear the Alpha Agility rubber boots. They have a neoprene like side up higher, but the ankle down, it's rubber. And I live in these. I kid you not. This is like my third pair, maybe. And that's mostly because I'm really rough on them. But I wear them every single day. Like, no matter what I'm hunting, no matter where I'm going. Typically, no matter what I'm hunting. The only time I don't wear them is if I'm elk hunting. But any whitetail, turkey, even like goose hunts, no matter what it is, I am in those things. Now, specifically, they're nice because they're waterproof, but specifically, I wear them for deer because rubber is your best friend. It doesn't hold onto scent like a lot of other materials do. So like, if you have leather boots, smelly. I don't even know what the different shoe materials are, but like anything that's like this soft material, smelly. So I love rubber boots because my access routes have become so much nicer. I've been able to slip in on deer that I probably shouldn't have, and so I really will live and die by rubber boots. Now that being said, like my feet are sweaty. I said I am a sweaty person. And so I try my best whenever I'm not wearing them to let them air out outside. So like I don't just like throw them in my car and call it good. I will let them sit outside. Really depends on the time of year, because like if it's raining, obviously I'm not going to be able to just let them out because I need to wear them the next day, or snowy, or really any conditions that are going to cause it to be wet. I don't let them outside. And so I have a boot dryer for my house. When I'm traveling, I just kind of deal with it, and like like I said, I will use like stuff like this to like mask the scent. But at home, I'll throw them on a boot dryer if I can't leave them outside, and kind of just let it use the ozone to like clean it. And I haven't had too many issues with it that way. So I think I covered everything. Yes. Oh, one more thing I forgot to say. I use these wool dryer balls for my dryer. Dryer sheets are terrible for your clothing, but they also leave a residue, but then they also typically have a smell. So dryer balls are really nice. I haven't had any issues. Throw 2 or 3 in there and you're good to go. But yeah, I believe that is everything. I hope I covered it all. But yes, that is how I stay scent-free. And again, I know I probably sound like a crazy person. I'm not that excessive about it. I just try to incorporate things. I wash all my stuff in all of this. So like my bed sheets, like I said, I clean my couches with it, like any blankets, anything that, like towels. I'm trying to think anything else, like literally everything. I just keep it as scent-free as possible, because I do believe it helps with certain situations where your wind switches on you, or maybe your thermals are going a different direction than what you thought they would, or maybe a front comes in and then you have one wind direction and then all of a sudden it's this way. So I've had many situations where that happens. You can't always play the wind. Obviously that's the first thing you want to do, is try that, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. So anyway, I think that's it. I hope I covered everything, and I hope that you guys can maybe stay scent-free this fall, hopefully. You're gonna have to let me know if you try any of my little tips and tricks and if they work for you. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm about to go do some laundry and kind of go through that, and it's almost deer season, so let's go.